Welcome to another video from Digital Landscapes. One of the common issues I see when I'm teaching SketchUp to beginners at college is use of the curve or use of the arc tool and drawing curves. A lot of people find it really difficult to draw curves exactly how they want them, and it can cause a lot of frustration and also just causes people to do rectilinear designs because they think, well, I can't draw curves and I'm just going to draw nice straight lines and everything will be easy. So I am going to talk about the built-in 2-point arc tool in SketchUp. When you press A, it's the one that comes up. I have to say I do not use these other three modes at all. I just don't find them helpful for the kind of work that I do. That kind of work is generally drawing fairly organic shapes. Obviously if I want to draw a circle, I'll use the circle tool and bisect that by lines if I just need a section, a slice of pie of the circle, so to speak. But generally I'm drawing fluid pathways or, designs like this that I want them to have quite a natural feel. So I think a lot of people resort to using the Bezier curves extension, which is built by SketchUp but not a native tool within SketchUp. But actually the arc tool can do everything you need. So you press A for arc and you can see by default, it's got 12 sides to it. I'm going to set it to 50. I think that will draw a nice smooth shape. Actually, if I just put it back on 12 and then just draw an arc, and we can see what I mean. So if you leave it on the default number of sides, you will not get, from far away it looks like a smooth arc, but when you zoom in, you'll see that it's just made up of 12 segments. I'll delete that. So I press A, lift my hand off the mouse, tap 50, press enter. That's given it 50 sides. You see it just popped up there, said 50 sides in arc. Now, when I'm using the arc tool, what I want to think about is that this is drawing a section of a circle. It's not a bendy line, it's just a section of a circle. So if I am drawing my shape, I need to think about breaking this line down into sections of circle. We're going to forget about this little lump here. It was an error in my drawing, let's just say. I've just drawn this really roughly. So I get my arc tool up and I'm obviously going to start it here. And I think it's probably going to be about there. So I pull my mouse across. It's not quite the same shape. So either I can take a call here, either I can think, I'm just going to do it so that it's good enough. And, if I carry on drawing this, it will probably look okay, like so. If I want it to be truer to the original shape that I hand drew, I need to think about breaking it down further. So actually, if I go here, maybe here is more, I'm going to find that more accurate, and then I'll have to draw a little bit off here. You see how every time I draw a section of an arc and then I click on the end point, it says highlights, it says end point. I'll even try and get my little wobbly bit in here. And that's coming off at a tangent. You see, I didn't double click then, I single clicked. So I could move it if I want, but I always want it on that tangent. So click, get that little bit in, double click, click, move that down there. Great, so that doesn't look too bad. I am just going to get the line tool up, pull that line across. He's way out there. So that's filled that in. I'll just colour it in a green colour. That looks fine. The downside of using lots of clicks versus what I did the first time is that the shape is not as smooth. If you look carefully, you can see some lumpiness there. Obviously, I've been using SketchUp for, coming on like at least a dozen years, nearly 15 years. And I've got quite good, but actually what you will find if you do a sort of click, click, click method, which seems easier, I'll try and do it here. Yeah, this is definitely going to do it. If I just do it really roughly. Oh, that's no good. We'll do it like that. What you will find is when you fill the shape in, you'll see even those bits that weren't obviously really bad, you just get weird lumps in it. So it is better, I would say, to take a kind of a rough approximation of the shape that you sketched out within reason. Obviously you have a design intention with what you sketched and you want it to be fairly accurate, but the fewer clicks the better. If you can draw your shape with the minimal amount of arcs possible, what you'll find is that it is a much smoother shape. Now, you quite often have issues at the end like this. You can see if we zoom in, that's no good at all. But I can still snap to these edges of of an arc of what I've drawn. So actually, if I do something like that, and then I can just delete these extra bits there, and you'll find, I need to do it a couple of times. Zoom in, as always. Yep, you'll find that that will kind of smooth it off if you can't quite get the end point right. So hopefully that's helpful. So it's A for arc. Set the number of sides, the more the better, except for when it's really small section. You're not going to be able to get 50 sides in there. But yeah, 50, 100, depending on the size you're drawing. And just draw sections of an arc and keep it as smooth as possible. And yeah, you can always Command Z and go over, remove the last bit, go over it again, try and get it accurate. But yeah, just try and keep it fluid. That's my advice. Hopefully this helps you. Drop us a comment and let us know how you get on, or if you've got any other nagging questions you'd like us to answer.